I'm Danny. I'll be your somewhat of a counselor today. I'm not a professional, but I'm doing this for a class. Everything you say will be kept between us unless you try to do something that's crazy illegal. Other than that, so what do you want to talk to me about today?
Well, I'm in school, so, I'm getting ready to graduate soon, so I guess I just wanted to talk about, what my plans were going to be, and, make sure that I kind of, I needed somebody to talk to make sure I was on the right track, kind of.
Okay, so what's your major?
I'm a criminal justice major. I'm a senior now, so, I'll be walking in May, but I have like 3 more classes in the summer that I have to take. Okay. They'll all be online, so I'm kind of, that's kind of where I am now, is just, getting ready for graduation and trying to get ready to get up out of here and take that next step.
Okay. Speaking of next steps, where do you think your next step will take you?
Well, first, my first step actually is I still have to get an internship taken care of. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I've got a couple of things in the works. Okay. So that's the most immediate next step. But after that, I had actually considered law school, but I'm kind of to the point where I'm kind of done with school. Like, I don't know if I want to be in school anymore, so I'm leaning towards more, some a different kind of profession, maybe a cop, or like you said, you wanted to be a federal agent of some sort. Like, I would like to do something like that. I'm kind of at a point now that I don't really know, which is weird because I'm about to be a senior. I should probably know. But
I mean, that's understandable. I mean, there's plenty of people that don't know exactly for sure what they want to do yet. But you said something about an internship. What kind of internships are you interested in doing?
Well, I was going to try to do one with the Statesboro PD down here, but I know guaranteed for sure, I have an attorney friend that's back in Warner Robins, and I know for sure I could go down to Warner Robins like over the summer and actually do an internship there. So the chances are I'm probably going to be working in an attorney's office this summer because I know for sure I can do that one.
Okay.
So,
in my experience, I lucked out. I did an internship, and I'm doing mine with GBI. There's actually a professor that teaches here. She's actually not a professor. She's got her master's degree, but she's the regional director for the GBI. She does this at night, and I took her for investigations. That's how I got started with mine. So I mean, they're always looking for people if you're ever interested.
Yeah.
You look on their website.
Seriously, after this interview, we need to talk. But yeah. So yeah, I wanted to do something. Wanted to be in the federal part. I don't really like. Well, not that I don't like the police. I just don't feel like there's
uniform,
and there's no prestige, and there's a stigma towards police, and we in all of our classes we talk about all the issues that police agencies have and the corruption. I just don't necessarily want to be associated with that. It doesn't really make me happy. So that's kind of why I'm shying away from that for the time being anyway.
Okay.
But the way the economy is, you never know. I may be a cop.
You might have to start somewhere.
Right. Exactly.
What agency do you have a preference? Because each agency deals with something different. Is there like a area that you want to focus your criminal justice career on?
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm still kind of in the wind. Like I looked into the GBI at one point, and that's something that interested me. The FBI, the FBI is one of those things that almost seems like it's just. It seems like it's almost an unattainable goal. Like the FBI just seems like, like there's certain.
Well, it's not unattainable. They have different hiring process than most of the other agencies.
Right.
Like I know most agencies, federal agencies, that is, everyone goes to like the same place to learn to get certified.
Right.
It's FLETC. It's actually in Georgia. It's in South Georgia. FBI, you go to Quantico.
Yeah.
Virginia. They have their own facility and everything else. So that's why I kind of never really wanted to do that.
Right.
But
you didn't want to do it just because you didn't want to leave?
Well, I just figured you never know. Like, what if I switch agencies? If I go to one of the other agencies, I'll still be certified. Right. So if I go, I'm not sure how that works. If I would have to go back and do something, because it's basically basic training.
Yeah, I think in one of our classes we actually did talk about that, and you're right. The FBI, their certification, I don't think it actually crosses as if you did GBI and everything else, if you were down at FLETC. Most of that stuff, except for like some weapons trainings and stuff that you get are different. You might have to go back and do that, but for the most part, that training period is good for all of those. You train with all those guys, and so for most of it, from what I've heard and from what I've read about is mostly the same. So.
Okay. So you're considering a career as a federal agent. Do you know the requirements that you would have to get into that kind of field?
I know somewhat the requirements. I know, about like the health requirements and things like that, and kind of, a lot of them want previous experience in other kind of enforcement, in other fields, and, a lot of those processes take a lot of times, a long time to get into. Like the FBI, I think it's something like you do your interview, even if they give you an interview, it's like 4 years, 8 years, something like that before they call you back. There's age limits to a lot of them. Like the FBI, I think you have to be older than 35 when you join, something like that. So yeah, I know about some of it,
Because I was just wondering, like, have you ever like had any like problems in the past with anything?
No.
See, I know, like me for example, that was one of the hurdles I had to jump through when I was dealing with my security stuff, because I made a mistake when I was a kid, and that followed me. Right. So that was I didn't even think it would matter, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, what about this? I was like, ooh.
I have a completely clean criminal record, like ridiculously clean, which is actually impressive because I haven't necessarily lived there. It's not. It's like I've just been really impressive my whole life, or very lucky at least, because they say 90% of people commit some kind of crime, and it's only the only difference between you and somebody else that they got caught. It's one of those things like. Only difference between me and you is that you messed around and got caught, I'm sure. It's just...
Yeah. So, you said something possibly about law school too, though. What made you want to possibly go to law school?
Well, that's initially what I wanted to do when I first even got into school, was go to law school. But after 4 years of being in school, I don't know, at least at this point, I don't know that I have the drive to do another 3 for law school. Like, I just don't think that I have it in me.
That's what I was
and it's
saying
bad because I actually got accepted into St. Augustine in Florida. There's a law school down there. And, I always said, even if I get accepted into law school, I'm going to go. But now I'm literally so tired. It's like, man, I don't even know. Like, that acceptance letter is just sitting there. Like, I don't know what I want to do with that. So,
I mean, that's understandable. Law school is a big responsibility.
Right.
I know people that have done it that they have no free time whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, but if that's something that you think you would like doing, I mean, you should probably go for it. I mean, it's just up to your decision of what you would want to do with your career.
Yeah. At this point, the only thing holding me back is me. So.
What kind of grades do you have?
Actually, when I first started off my freshman year, I had terrible grades. But the second semester of my sophomore year and up till now, I made the dean's list every year. So now I've finally gotten back up to a 3.1. So I'm at a 3.1 now. That's kind of where I'm sitting, and that's where it's going to stay. Cause,
nice.
I'm getting an A in Booker's class.
So, career-wise aside, where do you see yourself in like 5, 10 years?
Man, I don't know. I'm still making a decision. Hopefully, hopefully I will, manage to find myself. I mean, I know I'm gonna have a job in some kind of enforcement agency, whether it be PD or attorney or whatever. I'm gonna get a job in an enforcement agency. Now it's just come down to, especially now that it's crunch time, it's come down to me actually needing to decide where exactly I'm gonna go. Okay. So I mean, it's still a work in progress, but hopefully.
Do you think you'll have a family by then, or? You think you're going to live the single life for a while?
I have a girlfriend that I live with now, so
there you go.
I practically have a family, kind of. No kids, but I live with her, so And that's the other thing, too. She actually graduates in December, and I won't graduate until May, so kind of got a conflict of interest there, too. And she's supposed to be going to law school or trying to go to law school, so I don't know, where that even is going to lead at this point, which is kind of weird to be living with somebody and have no idea.
How long have y'all been together?
A year and a half.
Okay. Is that would you say that relationship's like a good relationship?
Yeah, we have a really good relationship. That's why I said it's weird that now we've gotten to that point where if she leaves, do I follow? You know what I'm saying? Do I follow? Am I gonna be that guy? Because I don't know if I would do that. We haven't really talked about it, but it's been one of those things that we know that we need to talk about this. So something's got to give by December. Like somebody has to make a decision. Either she have to decide to stay down here and She actually works for the city of Statesboro right now. She was supposed to be quitting at the end of December because she was supposed to be, getting ready to leave and get out of Statesboro because she doesn't want to be here. But now, now we've gotten to this point where in December, I'll still have to be here for another 6 months. And, if we're going to be together, somebody's got, something's got to give. I can't leave, which means you have to stay, because if you don't believe in long-distance relationships, I don't think they work. So that's kind of where that is. So,
you said y'all live together. How would you say that affects like your social life? In a good way or in a bad way, or?
It depends.
Because I know every guy likes to have some time with the boys.
It depends. She's actually really good about it. She used to get upset. She used to get upset because she doesn't really go out like that. Like, I go out. I'm going to the bar Friday, Saturday. Forget it. I'm gonna be at the house. She used to not like it. Now she doesn't care too much. It's only when I come home. Like if I come home ridiculously drunk, falling all over the place, knocking things down. That's usually the only time it's a problem. But sometimes she'll come out with us. We hang out. But I still keep my own set of friends. We believe that keep your own friends.
But do y'all do things together too? Obviously.
Yeah. We do things together all the time. But you still got to keep your friends.
Yeah, I understand. What kind of places do you go to? Like you were talking about going out. What kind of places around this town do you go to?
You got 6 places to go in this town. All right, there's 6 places to go in this town. Any of them, whenever. Nats Landing, Retrievers, the pool hall sometimes because I like to shoot pool.
How much do you drink a lot or?
I try not to.
Okay.
But there's sometimes where you go and it's like it's party time.
Yeah, I know the feeling completely. But have you thought maybe, because this is something that I've had to think about myself, is how that might affect me in the future, because like I told you I got in some trouble, but not only that, it's just it's fun.
Yeah.
So once it's time to you're about to graduate, you don't know if you're gonna get a job or go to law school or not. Do you think you're gonna be able to manage the same lifestyle as you do now?
Obviously not. Obviously, this lifestyle can't sustain itself past college. People have to realize that you really can't do what we've been doing in college for, especially me and you, been here for a minute. We can't sustain like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun for 4 years. Your case a little bit longer. It's been fun, but at some point you got to put your big boy pants on. Unless you keep being a bartender. I mean, if that's what you want to do, or you want to work at a bar, if that's what you want to do. That's great. You can live that life, but you're not going to be in a GBI and living that life. You're just not going to do it.
Definitely not. They take that pretty seriously.
Right.
I would imagine.
I'm saying it'll be a point where it's either going to ruin your life or you're going to have to decide to get rid of it, or to end that part. So I've come to terms with the fact that honestly, I've had friends that legitimately seem to have a problem when it comes to drinking. Like they legitimately, that the weekend comes and they really just can't help but to drink. But as far as I'm concerned, I'll go a couple weeks without drinking just because, especially because when I drink, sometimes my body will break down. I'll be hurt for like a week. So, but I feel like, when the time comes, I'll be able to go ahead and at least calm that side of my life down a little bit. Or I hope so anyway. That's the plan.
Yeah. So, where did you tell me you were from?
Initially, I'm a military kid, so
okay.
Was born in the Philippines, moved around the country a lot. Lived in Texas for about 5 or 6 years before I came down here. After my parents got divorced, and I came and moved with my mother, so that's how I ended up down here. So I'm not really from anywhere. I mean, you could call it.
So your mom, you live with your mom, I guess, in Georgia?
I did for a little while, but now, as of the last 4 years, I live with myself. I live here.
Obviously. But I was asking, did she have family here? Is that what was the reason for
when they got a divorce? She had family members down here, so she moved down this way.
Okay.
To make herself comfortable, because she had to get back on her feet. Divorces are messy.
I can understand. Did that growing up? Did that affect you?
The divorce? It's funny. I don't remember being that kid that was super devastated or distraught from the divorce. I was just kind of well, it's about time y'all stop yelling at each other.
Okay.
And the house is a lot quieter, so I was like, doesn't bother me now.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have, even though you said you weren't sure about which road that you were going to take, whether it be law school or the law enforcement. It sounds like, I mean, either way you go, you're going to be a winner.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got it pretty well planned out. I would say, do a little bit more research and maybe find something that you're definitely, like, a lot more interested in. Like, some people don't necessarily like, the DEA because of the drugs, or they don't like ATF because of, like, the alcohol, tobacco, and all that. Like,
I
each
definitely don't like
agency.
DEA because of the drugs. I think the war on drugs is a failed experiment, but that
Okay.
for another day, I guess.
But like I said, it sounds like you're on the right track, and I think you'll do fine.
Well, I appreciate it. Got some things off my chest.
Yeah,
Had a good
no problem.
conversation.
All right.
I think we learned something.